Hello all, it's Auslects here for our first YouTube video. We're going to try and do some analysis posts here on YouTube. I know we've done a lot of written blogs, but we'll try a bit on the YouTube, see how it goes. I've done up a little um, page here that'll help us work it out, go through some marginal seats after the Queensland State Election that we've just had. So we're going to go over a little video going over those 7 seats there and see how they stack up to the Parliament. So as you can see, Aspley, Coniston and Mulgrave, they're likely LNP, a leading LNP. Pine Rivers, Gavin and South Brisbane are leading Labor, and Morani is leading Katter. Quickly go over some of the seats. We've got Aspley there, the LNP is leading on the first preferences. It's translated to a slight lead in the two-party preferred. That Fiona Hawkins and the Greens vote is severely helping Bart Mellish, the incumbent Transport Minister, closing that gap on the two-party preferred. That other is mainly One Nation, also helping Amanda Cooper. Very tight there. Aspley could flip. It's been LNP for the majority of the count, but it is narrowing and narrowing as the ballot goes on, and postal votes usually favour the incumbent. If we head back to over to Gavin, Megan Scanlon's the housing minister. She's an aspiring Labor member of Parliament, potential future leader, and she's 2% ahead of Bianca Stone, local journalist who's running for the LNP. Sandy Roach there has the third highest, highest vote with One Nation, and then a large other presence there for the Greens. So that translates to a 0.7% lead for Megan Scanlon, a bit ahead of the lead that they've in Aspley, but that margin is still very close. It could easily change. If we go back to the main page and go to Morani, as you can see, there is a very, very, very close vote there with Stephen Andrews and Glenn Kelly. Stephen Andrews behind by about 9% of the primary vote there, but still Susan Tedder with the Labor Party is preferencing Stephen Andrews over Glenn Kelly, pushing Stephen over the line. That other vote is made to One Nation. Stephen Andrews has just endorsed One Nation preference, the LNP above Stephen Andrews, but those One Nation preferences are still favouring Stephen Andrews ever so slightly. So despite that strong lead in the first preference for Glenn Kelly, the preferences might not go in his favour. Still a very close preference game. Mulgrave is probably the one that's leading the most to the LNP. Terry James on 27.5. This high Katter vote's helping him. The One Nation vote's helping him. The Greens vote is somewhat helping Richie Bates. Richie Bates is replacing a popular Labor incumbent. Maybe lost that personal vote. But neither major party is above 30%, and their combined vote barely topples 50%. So it's a low major party result there at Mulgrave. Terry James is ahead. His Katter preference is again. Pine Rivers, we've got Nikki Boyd, who is slightly behind on the first preference, but makes up with it for the Greens' other preferences, getting a 0.3% over the line, very tight there, close to Morani. Dean Clements was in the lead for a while, on 0.7%, but that has flipped back now to Nikki Boyd, leading by only a few hundred votes. If we head over to Palmerston, Ariana Dillman was declared elected by the ABC. I know the young LNP's actually done a post about her being elected. It's a very tight race there. She wasn't about 1.7%, she's come down a percent. Ali King, the sitting MP, is probably favourable in the preferences, given her incumbency. But a large One Nation vote there is going to help Ariana Dillman, and then the other vote there is mostly Greens. It's getting Ali King high. So there's a very close contest there. And the fact that Ariana Dillman's already been praised by the LNP for her election means that it would be quite embarrassing if it would then flip back into Ali King's favour. And then we'll go to South Brisbane. This is an interesting one. Amy McMahon, sitting Greens MP. The only reason why this is still a potential change, that's wrong, sorry, there with the LNP ahead, that's going to be ALP ahead, is that if the LNP get above Labor, then Labor preferences will re-elect Amy McMahon. So as the count continues with this, which is becoming increasingly unlikely as these numbers steady out, but if the LNP and Marita Parkinson gets above Barbara O'Shea, then they'll be able to re-elect Amy McMahon on those Labor preferences. At the moment, however, the LNP preferences are electing the Labor member over the Greens member, and Amy McMahon would be defeated for the Greens person. So, how this stacks up here is if we just go to the seat count, you can see this is how it's currently set out. As certain parties lead, the count continues. Aspley, Mulgrave, and Palmerston there for the LNP getting the 52 seats, which is already the majority. 47 to the majority. It's not a question of will they get to the majority, it's how much will they get. Gavin, Pine Rivers, and South Brisbane Still looking like they'll go to the Labour Party, bring them up to 35, and Morani's ever so slightly, which will get the crossbench up to 6 seats. So what I've got here is I've got a minor party best case scenario, an LNP best case scenario, and a Labour best case scenario. And obviously the likely scenario is where we are here. This is where it's at right now, the likely indications. As I said, the voting, as the votes continue to be counted, that could very well change. So the minor party best case scenario is simply that Greens seat of South Brisbane, the LNP get the second place, and Labor elects South Brisbane. Elects Amy McMahon to return to get the 7 seats, ALP 34, and then the LNP. If we go to the LNP best case scenario, they'll get Pine Ritters there, and Moraney from Katter, which are both very plausible. They were leading in there for a while, particularly on election night, but the count has reversed as it's going on. Moraney in particular was 49-51 in favour of Stephen Andrews, and as they've counted later votes, it's just got narrower and narrower and narrower, and if that trend continues, Glenn Kelly will be elected. That's the LNP's best case scenario, gets them to 54 seats, crossbench 5, and Labor 34. Then Labor's best case scenario is that they get Thomas Stone, Astley, and Pirates. So Thomas Stone and Astley would go to the Labour Party in that situation. Mulgrave, considering that 2.3% margin, I can still see it staying with the LNP. So that'll get the LNP to 50, where they probably want to be. Labor up to 37, and Moraney would stay down with Katter on 6. So if we just come back to this likely scenario, wants to work, there we go. Oh, there we go. It's a bit of an interesting context, because these seats have chopped and changed, and they've changed overnight and changed the day before. Hundreds of votes separate one candidate from another. Any of those scenarios upwards. Amy McMahon and Stephen Andrews could be the best case scenario for the minor parties. The Labor Party will be potentially leading in Astley and Plummerstone again, and likely the LNP could easily take over in Pine Ridges. I doubt that Gavin and South Brisbane, well, I know South Brisbane won't end up in the LNP column. I guarantee Gavin won't, and I find it very unlikely that Mulgrave would head over to this Labor column. So as the counts continue, the seats are narrowing, the polls are narrowing. In those seats, not the polls, the actual voting poll is narrowing. It'll be some interesting contests, but we'll keep you updated on Facebook and Twitter, which you can follow down in the bio. But yeah, Aspen, Morgan, and Plummerstone, Gavin, Pine, South Brisbane, and Moraney. 7 seats to watch as the count continues to determine the next Parliament of Queensland. So thank you very much for watching. It's been a very short video, I'm sure, but it's our first. I hope that we'll make some more in the future. So thank you very much.